Believe the picture and see the truth. 2 + 4 = 6.
We're breaking the conditioning!
What compels a man to hate a monkey? To hold such disdain for nature's closest cousin? To look upon a picture such as this and wonder aloud how it would feel to crack its skull open with a frying pan? Whose days are filled with thoughts of how much better Aladdin would have been if little Abu had been put in a burlap sack to be beaten against the wall? YouTube plays host to many varied and diverse communities. Groups of individuals that come together for a collective interest and create content which reflects that. Whether it's a furry shitting in his diaper or a man living in a septic tank, there's always a video, always another user who has a similar interest to you. But out on the periphery, at the very edge of perception, there exist some groups which must remain hidden, who fear the daylight as a disinfectant towards their own interests, because deep down they know they are really fucked up. And one such group would be the YouTube Monkey Torture Network. To understand its origins, I need to take you on a journey of truth. And there's no better place to begin our first steps along this long and narrow path than on the X board on 4chan. X standing for exceptional detective work, 100% true verifiable facts. We are admissible in court. That is how accurate our information is. Amidst the daily threads of horny, lonely men trying to summon sex demons, tarot card readers looking to give you your fortune, or even puppet rape, a mysterious subject matter was brought up. Within the initial threads, interest was piqued. How was it possible that a monkey torture network could exist on a platform owned by Google, a company which was known for sanitizing anything that was very anti-PC or anti-family friendly? It just seemed to fly in the face of common reasoning. Surely there had to be some mysterious backstory. And upon further digging, it became apparent that this wasn't a recent phenomena, it wasn't a flash in the pan or a fad, but something that had existed on the platform for multiple years, in varied incarnations, and comprised of thousands upon thousands of users. In those initial threads, as the investigation began to bear fruit, certain key points rose to the top. Namely, that they were seemingly dealing with a sophisticated network of users who had a joy and a common interest in sharing videos which dealt with the abuse of what they referred to derisively as tree rats. This only helped to fuel even more questions and interest in the subject. Who exactly were these users? How long had they been engaged in this activity? Why did they hate monkeys so much? What motivated them? Where did they find this information? And was there a deeper meaning behind it? One fact that reared its head as they began to dive deeper into the subject matter was that the users involved in this were using playlists on YouTube to help share the videos they had found. Playlists with very mundane normal names that would keep the heat and eyes off of them, like Baby Monkey Suffering, Wounded Monkeys, Rotten Little Vermin Makes You Puke, Dead Monkeys, Monkey Abuse, Monkeys You Love to Hate, Baby Monkeys Make Me Sick, Twin Blind Dead Monkeys, Vintage Tree Rats, and of course, monkeys are stupid. It also became very evident that these were playlists which were extraordinarily popular, such as Kill Baby Monkeys, netting 1.3 million views, or even Baby Monkey Suffering, with a whopping 2.1 million views. Stranger still, as time went on, it was soon discovered that this wasn't the first time this subject had been brought up. The X-Board hadn't stumbled into something that was unknown up until this point. In fact, it had been discussed at length on multiple websites for a span of nearly 5 years. Sites such as Reddit, Facepunch, bodybuilding forums, and multiple YouTube videos had all touched upon the subject. A user would stumble upon one of these playlists or read the comments underneath the videos, become curious, and do a little digging. After looking into it a bit, they'd share it with their community, and then after a few weeks of initial interest, the subject would quickly die out. And while it's unknown exactly why there was such a sudden drop-off in interest after the initial exposure to this subject material, what is known, what is absolutely certifiable, is the pure vitriol, the unbridled hatred that these particular users have for innocent, little monkeys. A quick glance at any of the comment sections of the related videos linked to in the playlist quickly shows just how deep the hatred runs. Break both its legs, but only one of its arms, so it flops around aimlessly. Next step is putting its head in a vise, getting a pair of pliers and pulling its tongue out. Release it from the vise and watch it screaming and gurgling in agony as it rolls around, trying to find its tongue and put it back in. Once you get bored of it, crush its skull with a pipe wrench. That's how it should be done. Look at the useless gnat. Should have held a camera with one hand and stapled his nutsack to his forehead with the other hand, and watch it die. Take the little fucker to the top of the highest tree and swing him by his tail, and throw him into the air as high as possible, and listen to the thud sound when he hits the ground. Or take him to the top of a tree, find a short, thick branch to stick in his ass, so he is stuck up there and can't climb down. It needs its arms and legs tied together, and put into a nice ice cube filled tub and cooled off a little. After that, tie the little motherfucker upside down and blow dry it on the hottest setting. Then tie it down, and when it makes those annoying monkey sounds, squirt some habanero sauce into its throat and eyes. That, my monkey-loving friends, should calm the little bastard down. Pouring 100% pure vodka down its throat is also recommended. Of course, this isn't too surprising when you look at a vast majority of these accounts, with names like Kill Baby Monkeys and Monkey Hater, or when you look at the content they themselves upload on their own accounts. Baby Monkey, I want to put you in a microwave oven. Baby Monkey, the disgust doubles. Baby Monkey knows he is useless. Useless baby monkey that watches fish. Can I drown him? Why the human in this video didn't kill the useless baby? Two useless baby monkeys. Stupid baby velvet playing. Another useless baby monkey. When it comes to accounts like this, scattered throughout their various uploads were comments such as this: "That's it. I don't know why your channel is called Monkey Hater, and that's why I'm unsubscribing to you. Bye bye." People were perplexed. Some very confused as to why a channel they had been following suddenly did a 180 and started uploading content and making comments that seemed out of character for who they were, potentially hinting at the fact that maybe some of these accounts were hacked into. As if the YouTube monkey torture network didn't have enough organic users, they needed to go out and harvest new YouTube accounts, new channels. But amongst all of these various accounts, one particular one caught the attention of those on the export. Now, if this username and image seem vaguely familiar to you, one quick look at TinEye with a reverse image search will yield a few news articles that help to clear up why that might be. The face of pure evil. Australia's worst pedophile grins as he's led from court after being found guilty of raping a 1-year-old girl, torturing toddlers, and masterminding a sick global porn network. This user, who repeatedly came up, turned out to be an individual who was LARPing as a prolific child sexual predator, one of Australia's worst, who targeted not just little children, but babies themselves. Now, one might ask themselves, as the users on X did, why would somebody involved in a YouTube monkey torture network decide to LARP as a child pornographer? Well, it turns out a few people did more than just simply question why they would do that. They went to talk to the individual themselves within Discord. Sadly, the conversation didn't yield much, but a few pieces of information. The user was definitely genuine in his hatred of monkeys. He was fairly new to the community, and he'd interacted with people who had been a part of it for much longer than he had. And when it comes to that community, Peter wasn't alone in his choice of edgier usernames, as multiple other people chose colorful monikers by which to identify themselves, perhaps hinting at a secondary underlying interest aside from simple animal abuse. How exactly child predation and monkey torture intersect is a question better left to experts, as I can't quite come up with a reasonable explanation. Nonetheless, there does seem to be a very bizarre overlap. Whether that overlap is 7 layers of irony deep, I leave up to you. The videos themselves run the gambit from re-uploaded nature documentary footage that's been given a misleading title so as to trick you into believing it was going to be about abuse when none was present, to military units using lab animals to test out chemical warfare treatment procedures. Some of the videos were in Chinese, while others were in English. Some were completely innocuous, just people with their pet animals, while others featured animals that had been hit by traffic, or beaten or killed by another animal. And the only common thread amongst all of them was that they were put into playlists by this particular community so they could be commented on and used as a vessel to express their hatred of little innocent monkeys. The speculation surrounding these videos in this community consist of multiple different theories. Some people believe that the users are engaged in illicit illegal activities. and are merely using this as a smokescreen to hide a real message to point people towards illegal content and avoid law enforcement detection. Others believe that potentially this is similar to the Elsa and Spider-Man videos of a few years ago. Some believe it's a geographical cultural phenomena, and that the majority of users, even though they speak in English and use Americanized names, are really from Asia and have a deep, unbridled hatred for all things monkey-related. But the theory I find most interesting is the direct and simplest. It's just a prank, bro. A 5-year-long trolling op by a group of people that have blown up this idea into something much larger than they probably anticipated. And I think that becomes slightly more obvious when you look at some of the accounts surrounding all of this, such as pissforest, a YouTube user that follows the Peter account and has commented on the videos and other monkey-related torture videos, describes themselves as a politically correct trans LGBTQMN pink metal band who are against black metal and are social genocide warriors. One look at the content itself and you can definitely tell it's run by edgelords. But how does that relate to our specific monkey torture videos? Well, it was something they said in one of their videos.
We support extreme political correctness, which means we also support underrepresented minorities of Nazis, fundamentalist Islamists, and child molesters. Hence, LGBTQMN. We are also the proprietor of edgetivism.
But what exactly is edgetivism? Well, it's the practice of stamping your art with the most reprehensible themes of your time to defend the idea that art is limitless. And when looking at the creation dates for the Facebook and Instagrams all related to this particular group, you'll find that they all originate around 2013, which coincides roughly with the startup of this phenomena on YouTube. And digging a bit deeper, you quickly find out that Pissforest has their own website in which they promote the release of their new album, full to the brim of songs that both parents and your younger siblings will love alike, such as Britney Therapy. When I was a little girl, I always dreamt about my father's cock. It was so big and fluffy, but when I found out that my dad is gay and fucked his personal trainer, I was like, what the fuck, Dad? Fuck my pussy, Daddy. Tie me up and lash me like Islamic torturers. Make me moan like a pig being slaughtered. Or their other classic hit, Rape and Kill Animals, Attack Women. There's a beauty in torturing cats as their guts sprout over the floor. I can't help but come in their ass. And that's just a sampling of the songs they've assembled together for this album, which is available on their Bandcamp account. So is it possible that just like Pissforest, a collective of trans edgetivists gathered together on YouTube decided to LARP as child sexual predators to create a YouTube monkey torture network, all in an effort to show the world that their avant-garde finger painting is pretty badass? Currently, it's as good a theory as any. We may never find out the truth behind what this community is all about, why they do what they do, why they're so enthused about the torture of animals, whether it's a massive trolling operation that's lasted for nearly half a decade, or a group of child predators, all secretly pointing one another with coded phrases and video links towards illicit or illegal material. Perhaps the only consistency to be found here is what was touched upon earlier, because much like those communities, Facepunch and Something Awful, the bodybuilding forums, and Reddit, X itself has seemingly lost interest after merely a week and a half to 2 weeks of investigating. Perhaps this is some kind of monkey god curse, where your attention span is diverted away from the deepest, truest reasonings behind why this is happening. Maybe it's a glitch in the Matrix. All I know for sure is there are quite a few people on YouTube who really fucking hate monkeys.